What happens when the applause quiets and the spotlight fades? At 73, Steven Seagal's life reads less like a straight climb to fame and more like a long, reflective journey. His story isn't simply about being a martial arts star. It's about how a person navigates success, reinvention, and the slow shift from public legend to private life. Behind the action-packed films and confident persona lies a tale of perseverance, choices, and the human cost of living under constant scrutiny. As the years have passed, the story of Seagal has become less about blockbuster glory and more about resilience, self-discovery, and the reality of aging in the spotlight. Humble beginnings. Steven Seagal's journey began in Lansing, Michigan in 1952, before his family moved to Fullerton, California. As a child, he struggled with asthma and physical frailty, challenges that could have easily held him back. But rather than letting these obstacles define him, he turned them into motivation. He found a deep fascination with physical discipline and martial arts. And as a teenager, he discovered Aikido, a practice still unfamiliar to many in the West. The fluid, precise movements captivated him, and his early dedication reflected a rare maturity. He understood early on that strength was not just physical. It came from focus, persistence, and inner control. Journey to Japan. By the early 1970s, Seagal made a rare leap for a young American martial artist. He traveled to Japan. Immersing himself in the culture, he devoted himself to mastering Aikido and became one of the first foreign instructors to run a dojo there. This was a major accomplishment, not just professionally, but personally too. It showed discipline, respect, and the ability to navigate a world far removed from his upbringing. Learning Japanese and adopting local customs helped him gain credibility, and his reputation as a serious martial artist began to grow internationally. Those years in Japan shaped not only his physical skill, but also his worldview, setting the stage for the later chapters of his life. The leap to Hollywood. Seagal's transition to Hollywood was far from guaranteed. His unique blend of martial arts skill, calm charisma, and timing made him stand out in a crowded field of hopeful actors. He started as a martial arts instructor for private clients in Los Angeles and worked as a bodyguard for figures in the entertainment industry. One of those clients, a Hollywood agent, recognized something special in him and encouraged him to pursue acting. The leap paid off. In 1988, Seagal made his debut in Above the Law, playing Nico Toscani, a former CIA operative turned cop. The film introduced him to audiences who were captivated by his quiet intensity and realistic fighting style. Its success marked the beginning of a rapid rise that few could have predicted. The action star emerges. Seagal's momentum was swift. Films like Hard to Kill, Marked for Death, and Out for Justice turned him into a distinctive action hero. Unlike many of his peers, he didn't rely on loud bravado or exaggerated physicality. His appeal came from controlled intensity, precise technique, and a calm presence that felt believable and grounded. This reached its peak with Under Siege, a high-profile film that paired him with established actors and achieved worldwide success. Seagal offered audiences something different: action grounded in skill rather than spectacle, tension built on discipline rather than showmanship. His on-screen persona suggested that heroism could be quiet, focused, and deeply effective. The duality of public image. As his fame grew, Seagal also began crafting a public image that blurred the lines between the screen and real life. He wasn't just playing heroes, he was presenting himself as one. Martial arts mastery, spiritual curiosity, and a global perspective became part of his brand. Stories about his background and philosophical interests added layers of mystique. Over time, the line between myth and reality began to blur, creating both fascination and scrutiny. This balance between image and authenticity would follow him throughout his career and influence how audiences saw him long after his peak fame. Reinvention through creativity. By the mid-1990s, Seagal started exploring new paths beyond acting. He directed and starred in On Deadly Ground, a film that mixed martial arts action with environmental themes. While the movie received mixed reviews, It showcased his desire to create work with purpose. He also pursued music, releasing blues albums that revealed a more personal side of him. These ventures showed a willingness to experiment creatively, even when commercial success was uncertain. Looking back, they reveal an artist who sought depth and authenticity, proving that Seagal's story is not just about fame, but about growth and self-expression. Challenges of a changing industry. As the 2000s approached, Hollywood changed dramatically. The industry began favoring franchise films, ensemble casts, and high-tech action over solo martial arts heroes. For Seagal, this shift became a major challenge. Mainstream roles became scarce, and he gradually moved toward direct-to-video projects. Movies like Exit Wounds and Half Past Dead maintained his signature style but lacked the wide reach of his earlier work. While some of these films found audiences, they marked the beginning of a period where his presence in Hollywood slowly faded. Reality television and public engagement. To stay connected with audiences, Seagal turned to reality television, most notably with Steven Seagal, Lawman, in 2009. Filmed in Louisiana, the show followed his work as a reserve deputy sheriff, blending martial arts philosophy with everyday law enforcement. For viewers, it offered a new perspective on a former action star navigating real-world responsibilities. While critics debated the show's authenticity, it showed Seagal's willingness to explore new mediums and remain visible, even as traditional film opportunities decreased. The international stage. While his Hollywood fame dimmed, Seagal's international profile remained strong. He built connections abroad, especially in Russia, where his martial arts reputation opened doors in cultural and diplomatic spheres. Citizenship, diplomatic roles, and participation in international events allowed him to reinvent himself beyond cinema. These developments reflected a strategic understanding of personal branding and opportunity. When one stage closes, another can open. They also showed how complex fame can be and how adaptability becomes essential in a globalized world. Health and reflection. With age, the physical demands of martial arts and action films began to take a toll. Observers noticed changes in his mobility, and Seagal adjusted his public appearances and film work accordingly. Using practical tools like chairs and doubles became a way to continue working while respecting his limitations. This stage of life highlighted the human side of a man often seen as invincible. Even someone defined by discipline and strength must confront time, health, and the changing capacity to perform. Lessons in legacy. Seagal's story reminds us that legacies are rarely simple. Fame can be exhilarating, but also fragile. The public persona, the hero, the martial artist, the global figure, exists alongside the private individual making choices and facing setbacks. His early films remain touchstones for martial arts cinema and continue to inspire new generations. Even ventures that were less commercially successful reflect a willingness to experiment and explore identity. In this way, his story is not just about what he achieved, but about the courage to keep evolving. The interplay of myth and reality. Seagal's career illustrates the tension between myth-making and authenticity. For years, he maintained a carefully crafted image of strength, philosophy, and global engagement. Over time, audiences began to see the vulnerability behind that image. His story highlights the challenge every public figure faces: how to reconcile the expectations of the world with the realities of private life. Navigating change. One of the most important themes in Seagal's story is adaptation. While Hollywood evolved, he sought new ways to stay relevant, from reality TV to international diplomacy. These efforts received mixed reactions, but they demonstrate resilience and a refusal to disappear. They show how difficult it can be to maintain relevance in an industry where trends shift quickly, and past success does not guarantee future opportunity. A life beyond the spotlight. At 73, Seagal's life is now shaped by reflection, reinvention, and legacy building. He has navigated early stardom, creative exploration, global recognition, and the challenges of aging. From the dojo in Japan to Hollywood premieres and later global engagements, each chapter reflects persistence and ambition. The public may remember him for his action films, but the full story includes cultural engagement, personal growth, and a search for purpose beyond fame. Conclusion. Shadows and continuity. Steven Seagal's journey reminds us that fame is a fleeting spotlight, and the human story behind public personas is full of complexity. Triumphs, challenges, and reinvention coexist, forming a legacy that is neither purely celebratory nor diminished. While his cinematic peak is behind him, his contributions to martial arts culture, creative exploration, and global engagement remain meaningful. His story shows a universal truth. Behind every legend is a human being navigating choices, setbacks, and the pursuit of meaning long after the applause fades. In all its layers, his life invites reflection on fame, identity, and the delicate balance between public myth and personal reality.